students, this is Miss Tomorrow, and this is our first lesson beginning with trig. But in order to do trig, we need to know how to do the Pythagorean theorem. So this might look familiar, maybe from Math 8, 8th grade math. So the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This is on your formula card, so you don't have to memorize it. Just erase that. Okay, so what do you need to know? The most important thing is c squared has to be the hypotenuse. Okay, it's always across from the right angle. The a and the b don't matter. They're just the other two legs of the triangle. So let's take a look at number 1. We have to find the measure of x. So when I look at it, the first thing I'm going to notice is across from the right angle is 10, which is my c value. So 6 squared plus x squared, because those sides do not matter, equals 10 squared. Okay, let's do our squareds. 36 plus x squared equals 100. 10 squared is 100. And then we got to get the x squared alone, so we're going to subtract the 36. X squared equals 64. And then how do you undo a squared? A radical. And this is the length of a side. So when I take the square root, it's going to be positive 8. So the side x is positive 8. Okay, let's look at the next one. This is going to be our x. Okay, same thing. There's my c value is the hypotenuse. Okay, so we got x squared plus 3 squared equals radical 45 squared. All right, so x squared plus 9 equals, so radical 45 squared, you should be able to tell, whoops, I just want the radical. But in case you don't, you're going to type in radical 45 under the radical, press the over key, and then press squared. And it's just 45 because the squared and the radical undo each other. Okay? We're going to subtract the 9. So x squared equals 36. And then same thing, square root, x equals 6. All right, let's take a look at number 3. Find the value of g. 13 is my c. Again, it's across from the right angle. So 9 squared plus g squared equals 13 squared. Okay, so 9 squared is 81 plus g squared equals, and then if you don't know 13 squared, you can always type it in, 169. And then we're going to subtract the 81. So g squared equals, so minus, whoops, 81. 88. Okay, and we're going to find this in simplest radical form. So when we take our square root, remember, it's not a perfect square. So whenever we don't have a perfect square, we're going to go menu, number, factor, 88. 2 times 2 times 2 times 11. So 2, 2, 2, 11. A pair of 2's comes out. Radical 2 times 11 stays under the radical. So 2 radical 22. Okay, we're going to move on to some trigonometry. Okay, so this is the part that goes into right triangle trigonometry. So we're going to do this awesome song in class, but for now what we want to do is look at the triangle, and you're going to be given an angle. So I'm given this angle where theta is. So theta is that little symbol. It's just a Greek letter. It tells you what angle you're using. And we have to label our sides. So the first one is really easy. You guys already know. What's across from the right angle? Always the hypotenuse. What is across from my angle? We're going to call that the opposite side. And then the side that's next to it is adjacent. Now looking at my second picture, theta is down here. Again, where's the hypotenuse? Across from the right angle. My opposite side is across from my angle. Adjacent means next to. Okay, so theta is the angle we're using. We always have to have a right angle in our picture. Okay, so the next part is we have our trig ratios, so, ka, toa. So if you go to your calculator and hit the trig button, all of them are there. S stands for sine, ka, cosine, T, tangent. Okay, so S is sine, and it means O over H, opposite over hypotenuse. So this is opposite over the hypotenuse. Okay, C stands for cosine. A is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse, A over H. And then tangent is toa, opposite side over adjacent. So this is the only thing you really have to memorize. So, ka, toa. And again, there's going to be a cool song that goes with it. Now, we notice when we hit our trig button, we have 3 more, right? Cosecant, secant, and cotangent. Now, the good news is you don't really have to memorize them. You just have to know which one goes with which. So I put them in order, and reciprocal means we flip it. So cosecant goes with sine, and it's H over O, hypotenuse over opposite. Secant and cosine are buddies. So instead of A over H, it's H over A. And tan and cotan are buddies, and it's A over O. So how can I remember this? There's my trig button, right? 1, 2, 3. Sine, cosine, tangent. It goes in order. 1, 2, 3. So sine's buddy is cosecant. Cosine's buddy is secant. And tan's buddy is cotan. Okay, let's try a few questions. So for the first example, it says we're going to find the 6 trig ratios for the given angle. Okay, so theta is going to be angle A. So I'm going to put angle A at theta. So the first thing we're going to do is label our sides. The first one you always want to label is a hypotenuse. Where is it? Across from the right angle. So I'm going to put an H there. What's across from theta? 7, which is opposite. And then next to it is adjacent. Okay? So now I'm just going to use my SOHCAHTOA. You can hit your trig button. And we're just basically going to write those in order with the theta after it. So we have sine theta. Theta just means it's the angle we're using. Cosine theta, tan theta. Okay? Then the other one is cosecant, which is his buddy. So it's the next 3, right? Secant theta, cotangent, theta. Okay? And these are all the fractions. So I'm going to write SOHCAHTOA again. SOHCAHTOA. Okay. So sine is O over H. Opposite is 7. Hypotenuse is 15. Cosecant, flip it. Cosine, A over H. 8 over 15. Flip it. 15 over 8. Tangent, O over A. 7 over 8. Flip it. 8 over 7. Okay, we're going to do one more together in our video. So let's take a look at number 2. Okay, so for number 2, we have, there's a missing side. So we got to find the missing side first using the Pythagorean theorem. Then we're going to do exactly what we just did. Leave your answer in radical form when necessary. So we're going to do number 1. So what am I noticing? I'm noticing C is always the hypotenuse. So I'm missing this side right here. Whoops. So I got A squared plus B plus 12 squared equals 13 squared. So A squared plus 144 equals 169. We're going to subtract 144. A squared equals 25. Square root. A, which is my missing side, is 5. Okay, so now we're going to label our sides. Here's my theta. We already said 13 is the hypotenuse because it's the longest side. What's across from it? Opposite. And then adjacent is next to. So we're going to do the same thing we just did. Sine theta, cosine theta, tan theta. And then the buddies, cosecant theta, sines buddy, secant theta, cosines buddy, cotan theta, tangents buddy. Okay, fraction, fraction, fraction. Okay, so O over H, 5 over 13, flip it, 13 over 5. Cosine, A over H, 12 over 13, flip it, 13 over 12. Tangent, O over A, 5 over 12, flip it, 12 over 5. So hopefully that helps you guys with the beginning of trig. We're going to do some more examples together in class. Bye.